I'm back. Yes, this is Tim, and I'm back with a new episode of Faves from Five. Uh, it's been a couple months since I last made a video. That's because the health issues I've been having, I'm still having them, and that's why I'm still making this in slideshow format. Also, my daughter was home for a month between semesters at college. She headed back yesterday, so things are not quite as chaotic around my place now. For those who haven't seen either the other videos in this series, I'll just briefly explain that in this video I have my computer randomly select 5 albums from my vast music collection. I'll listen to the album, pick out a favorite, and then I'll make the video showing what album it is, and uh, I'll talk a little bit about the album and uh, tell you what my favorite song was from when I listened to it. Something I'm adding starting this video is I'm also telling what songs were hits. By hits, I mean they were on the Billboard Hot 100, not just Top 40. Mainstream rock, adult contemporary, country singles, or R&B singles. I'm not saying which chart they were on. I'll just mention which ones were hits for the artist. With that said, let's get to the music. The first album that my computer picked out for me this time is Belly Squire, Don't Say No, from 1981 on Capitol Records. This was Belly's second album, and it's the one that really got him recognized on the music charts. The hits that he had off this album are In the Dark, The Stroke, My Kind of Lover, and Lonely is the Night. Uh, this album has a lot of rock songs and then it also mixes in like a couple ballads on it. My favorite song on this one is pretty much a ballad, but it has, you can tell it has rock to it too. And it's called "I Need You." The next album is by Graham Nash and David Crosby, called Graham Nash, David Crosby. It's from 1972 on Atlantic. Uh, I know that they made like 2 or 3 albums, David and Graham together, and of course they're half of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and I think these two, their voices just go together pretty good. The hits on this album are Southbound Train and Immigration Man. I really like both those, but there's one song I like better than those even on this album, which is Frozen Smiles. The third album that the computer selected is the album Hopes, Wishes, and Dreams by Ray Thomas. It's from 1976 on Threshold Records. If you can't tell, with it being on Threshold Records, he was a member of the Moody Blues. He was one of the co-founders of the band. And whenever they had got back together, that band, or had reunions, he was there until 2003, where because of health issues, he had to retire from music. This album doesn't have any hits on it, but there's a song that I really like on here called Keep On Searching, where they brought in brass instruments for this song, and it has a real catchy tune. I think if they would have released it as a single, it could have been a hit for him. The next selection is Air Supply's self-titled album from 1985. This was after they had the majority of their hits after they have had their release, or I should say release their greatest hits album. It's on Arista Records and from 1985, I think I said already. The hits off here are Just As I Am and The Power of Love. I'm not talking about the Huey Lewis Power of Love. I'm talking about the Celine Dion one, and this one was done well before she did it, and I think it's better than hers. And they've shown at times on their albums that they can rock a little harder than a lot of the mellow stuff they're associated with, which is the case of my favorite song off this album called After All. The last album that the computer selected for this video is a band that's from the local area that's made it big. It's the band Cheap Trick with the album Heaven Tonight from 1978 on Epic Records. Cheap Trick was recently voted voted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I feel they really deserve it. If you've listened to any of their first three albums, including this one, you'd probably agree with me that this one there's not a bad song on this album. It's from 1978 on Epic. It's their third album. They had a hit with the song Surrender on here. My favorite song on the album is one that they'll usually do in concert, and it's just a good rocking song. It's called On Top of the World. That's all my selections for this video. If I was given these albums in like 6 months and had to pick a favorite, there's a good chance that I'd have different favorites, and right now it just depends on the mood and frame of mind you're in at the time, and like just what all is going on around you, and it pretty much affects what you like and don't like in music, and what your favorites are at the time. Well, that's all I have for this video. So until next time, take it easy and keep on rocking.